कुरुधन जन यौवन गर्वम हरति निमेश kala sarvam. This is a song from Bhajagovindam, which means youth, beauty, wealth, followers. All these things can be lost in a second. There's been the death of the Bollywood actress Shefali, sadly, and her death proves this particular song of Bhajagovindam. What if the prize of eternal youth was your life itself? See, we live in a world obsessed with youth, with the flawless skin of a 20-year-old, with sculpted features and unlined foreheads, even when our hearts, our souls, and our bodies are screaming for acceptance. This is not just an abstract worry. This is serious. It's a real tragedy playing out around us. This actress, 42 years old, Shefali, she passed away. And she seemed healthy on paper, fit, successful, beautiful, rich. But behind all that makeup and perfect glowing photograph lay the body which endured countless botox injections, fillers, lip surgeries. She did what so many people do, chasing youth with needles, knives, and chemicals. She did what many are sold as self-care, but which was in truth, it's a kind of violence against herself, against the body that God has given us. Why? Why do we do this? Why do we forget to be grateful for the body that God has given us, accept it just as it is? Why do we fear so much the passage of time? Today I want to talk about this, not to shame anyone, not to blame the dead, but to learn from this pain, because we are next in line for these choices in some degree or another. This particular actress, she was not the first one, basically, because there are shocking examples of this in history of the world today. You see, this pressure to look forever young is deadly. It has claimed the lives of more people than we would want to admit. Some known, some not known. So let's talk about Bollywood. Sridevi, one of India's most iconic actresses, she died in a hotel in bathtub in Dubai. Official cause was accidental drowning. There are so many stories that came out about her obsession with staying slim, and rumors that she had surgeries and procedures to remain skinny, to look young. So the procedures didn't kill her directly, but the mindset is what I'm bringing up here. Relentless need for perfectionism and refusing to age gracefully. Her death sent shockwaves through India because she was that evergreen beauty figure. But even she could not outrun time. Another actress from South India was Soundarya. Of course, she died in a tragic helicopter crash. But her death was also not directly through surgery, but she too faced so much pressure from the film industry, worshipping youthful body, flawless skin, slim body. And people want to leave film industry because of all these expectations. And the industry rewards the face, but it also steals the peace. And Hollywood is no less for these cautionary tales. There was this Joan Rivers. She was legend to put herself under the knife, scalpel after scalpel. She died from complications of procedures and surgeries, and she had lived decades addicted to surgery. She even joked about it. She made it her brand. But what was the joke hiding? It's a terror of aging that she could never conquer. And there was another, Donda West. That's like the mother of Kanye West. She died because of liposuction and a tummy tuck. And she wanted to look better. And the surgeon warned her about the health risks, but she insisted. She died for it. Her health destroyed her body, her life, basically, just to look better. Olivia Goldsmith, she was the author of the First Wives Club. She also died at 54 from anesthesia. She went through complications during cosmetic surgery. She also wrote about how women betrayed by men chasing younger models, and she died chasing youth herself. Irony, right? Irony of life. So many lessons to learn. I am not sharing these things to shame anyone. It's actually sad reality. So let's not waste on their deaths. Let's ask ourselves, why do so many choose to suffer for beauty? What does it say about us? Yavat mito parjana shakta tavan parivaro ratah. As long as one is able to earn, the family loves that person. How beautiful. But once they're old and frail, nobody even asks, how are you, even at home? This is another verse from Bhajagovindam. So it's a harsh reality of life, but it's truth. Your worth in this world is not reduced to your usefulness or your earning power, your youth, your beauty. When age comes, children won't take your burdens. There are even Shastric stories about it. Your career won't hold your hand. Your children will not take the old age. Your beauty treatments won't comfort you. Only your faith will. Only the spiritual wealth that we have cultivated will remain. That's why our tradition, Vedic culture, Sanatana Dharma teaches us, prepare now. Serve others, serve God, because when age takes your strength, your heart is still rich. So there are some 5 powerful lessons I want to share with you. What do these stories of our fellow human beings teach us? I believe that there are more than 5 lessons, but we can talk about 5 today. First, unnatural shortcuts can backfire. Not only beauty, in many other aspects of life. So it's tempting to think that there's an easy fix, a needle, a scalpel, a pill. But the body is not a toy. It's a sacred space. And it's not our enemy to conquer. Every shortcut has a price. You cannot buy youth. You can only borrow it from your future health. Health is not what you see on Instagram or Facebook. It's what you feel when you're alone at night. So the deeper sense of security. True beauty. Second point. True beauty fades, but grace doesn't. We are sold to that lie that beauty is the highest good, that wrinkles are shameful, that gray hair is a failure. But grace is ageless. A warm smile with a crow's feet is real. Cosmetic perfection cannot buy peace or security. It can't buy love. It can't keep you safe from loneliness. It cannot keep your marriage together. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Krishna says that our mind, our devotion, that's what he cares about, not our wrinkles. Same with people with successful relationships. Your body is not a machine to modify at will. It's sacred. It's a temple. It's a place for worshiping God. What would happen if we thank God for our changing bodies instead of fighting them? We change bodies. What to speak of skin? So the body is called a temple. Treat it like one. Let's treat it. Don't torture it. Let's not torture it. Comparison kills. It's something I'm also personally working on. We keep comparing ourselves. It's the cancer of modern life. I want to look like her. I want to stay young forever. Comparison steals our gratitude. It leads to overdosing, overdoing, overspending, self-harm. The cancer of comparison truly kills more dreams than failure ever could. Legacy matters more than looks because I want to say this gently but firmly. We spend so much energy fighting age, fighting time, fighting nature itself. But in the end, no one remembers us for our wrinkle-free skin. Nobody's celebrated for that, but rather for their wisdom, for your kindness or the peace that you bring in other people's life, for the love that you shared. When this lady died, Shefali Jariwala, and she was only 42, and people are like so shocked. She was glamorous, she was famous, she was known for her bold personality, she was reportedly healthy, fit on paper. But she lived a life immersed in the demands of appearance, the pressures of staying relevant, beautiful, desired. It's all in her mind. And she is said to have had botox, fillers, lip surgeries. I had to even Google what these surgeries are. Standard in celebrity circles nowadays. And yet, these celebrities still going through pain, and some people are blaming her or whatever. Let her rest in peace. See, it's about seeing what the world is doing to us, how we are getting affected. When will we realize that the legacy we leave is more important than the body that we obsess over? This is the question, okay? This is a big lesson for us. The 5th lesson, what will people remember you for? Your flawless skin? Your fillers? Or your kindness? Your wisdom? your faith. Let's choose to be remembered for something real. And when we die, no one is going to say, oh, she was so beautiful at 60 because she had no lines on her face. They would probably say, she was there for me in my times of difficulty, right? In the eulogy, she taught me to be strong, or he lived with grace, that he helped me to see God's hands in my life. That is the legacy, what matters, right? There's a quote, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. So who do you want to impress? Those people who care about these external things? So let's not just talk about modern examples. Let's also look at some sacred stories. But before that, is there a better way to live? Yes or no? A way to stay youthful, not just the face, but the heart. Youthfulness is not just about skin. Gauranga Prabhu, you may have heard about Sundaram Pichai and Gauranga's interaction. They were in IIT together. So Gauranga Prabhu is a monk, he's a spiritual teacher, he's a humble devotee, and he went to IIT at the same time as Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. So recently they had an event, and years later when they met Sundaram Pichai, it was like he's worth billions, right? Very respected, very famous, and he looks, aged and stressed and weary. And Gauranga Prabhu, he looks radiant, youthful, calm. So when Sundara Pichai told Gauranga, you look so young. So Gauranga Prabhu said, he was laughing and he said, you're dedicated to Google, you work for Google, and I'm dedicated to God, I work for God. So think about that. Sundaram Pichai, he serves the empire of data and profits and consumption. And Gauranga Prabhu serves truth, God, love. He works very hard. Both of them work very hard. Both of them are extremely successful, influential. Who looks younger? Who feels lighter? Spiritually speaking, it's not about negation, okay? Very important. So it's about honoring our bodies, our minds, our souls. So we think spirituality means no to life, but no, that's not the point. But true spirituality is saying yes to life with God in the center, as God intended it for it to be. We live according to God's will, not as beauty industry wants to sell it. So it's very important to make that difference. And people who are engaged in sinful life, they age quicker. People who are engaged in sexual activity more, they age faster. So celibacy also preserves youthfulness, not because of repression, but because it channels energy inward. Krishna is Nava Yauvanam. He's eternally youthful, but no other human being can be. And Krishna is the embodiment of eternal youth and freshness. So a devotee of Krishna doesn't age in spirit. Their smile remains fresh. Their eyes stay bright. You see, some people were like 70, 80-year-old, but because they were celibate, they were clean lives and stress-free life dedicated to God, they look very young. So we want to take care of this body because it's sacred. We want to look beautiful. We want to beautify, but naturally. So if not surgeries and needles, what can we do? How can we truly stay young, naturally, spiritually? There's a story of Chavana Muni you may have heard. There's even Chavanprash named after him. You may remember Chavana Muni. He was very cranky, old sage, ancient sage. He had grown old and frail and irritable, and he was living deeply in meditation. And then there's Sukanya. He marries a young, beautiful woman. And Ashwini Kumar has come into picture later. And because of the chastity of Sukanya and the dedication of Chavana Muni, Ashwini Kumar is rejuvenate the youth of Chavana Muni. So the old guy, to fulfill the dharma towards his young wife, becomes young again. So that respect, that honor in their relationship is the key. When he bathed in the sacred pond, they prepared, and when he came out, he was young again. But did he waste that youth on chasing pleasure? No. He continued as a sage. He used his health, his youth in service of spiritual life. So youth is not the enemy. Beauty is not enemy, but youth without purpose is a tragedy, as we see in this actress's case. Ayu balam yasho varnaha punyam shilam dhanam shrutam buddhi shri satyavakyam cha. So all this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. By the mercy of the Lord, one can get ayu, long life, balam, strength, fame, beauty, piety, good deeds, good character. wealth, education, intelligence, truthful speech, prosperity, good health. All these things are good things. We're not negating it. These are gifts that come from God, not from our frantic efforts to defeat age. When we forget Him, even the blessings become curses. When we forget the Lord who's given us all these things. Dukkha yonaya evate. Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter, Krishna actually says that such pleasures are verily the womb of suffering, which is not connected to God. So when will we learn that youth misused becomes our downfall? Now or never. But youth dedicated to God becomes our salvation. So here are 5 more tips, practical tips to nourish your body, not to torture it. Cultivate peace of mind. Stress ages us faster than time. Your lifestyle, look at your lifestyle. Worry is like the acid on the soul. And then practicing forgiveness, letting go of grudges. Antashuddhi, Bahishuddhi, living a clean life, pure life, externally and internally. And that purity comes from praying, pranayama, meditation. Then natural healthcare. See, our ancestors, they didn't eat lab-made food. So the more organic we eat close to earth, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, that's the best brand. Avoid processed toxins. Your body knows what to do if you give it what God has made naturally. And of course, the third tip is spiritual practice. Chanting, reading sacred texts, it feeds our soul, keeps us young. Because a starving soul will make you age faster inside and out. Like I mentioned, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto, by putting our mind on the ever-youthful Krishna, that's the ultimate anti-aging cream you can think of. Also using, by the way, talking about creams, there are products I don't want to mention in this video. If you want to comment, I can send you some products that use natural things in cosmetics like herbs and pomegranates and arrowroot powder. And there are companies which use. So another thing is also love is the best beauty treatment. Respect your body. It's a temple. Don't abuse it with substances, surgeries, self-hatred. Thank the Lord. I have eyes to see. I have mouth to speak. Care for it. A healthy body is not sculpted in a clinic. It is loved into wellness. So taking care of ourselves, it is a requirement, is a necessity. We cannot just say, oh, I am not this body. We are a part of the mind and the body, and it's a combination. What would happen if we would celebrate aging gracefully? That would be nice, right? If we honored wisdom over youthful skin and body alone. If we saw our body as a temple, not as a project, like a building structure. Our culture needs a revolution of gratitude. We need to say thank you to God for what He has given us. Wrinkles and all, warts and all. Not just follow some Bollywood people who are torturing themselves in the name of beauty and looking really bad. If you saw Aishwarya Rai with all those surgeries or whatever she does, she looks not so nice anymore. So let's choose grace over perfection, love over vanity, spirituality over obsession. If you believe this message, share it. The gopis of Vrindavan also used, there's this flower, Ananda Batlu, we call it. So from that kajal is made. It's a natural kajal we can apply. The gopis of Vrindavan would decorate themselves. So it's important to truly be youthful. They would do that for Krishna. Okay, because Krishna is eternally fresh, eternally joyful. My grandmother, she would always dress with silk robes and diamond earrings, and she would decorate herself very nicely. So she would always say, I do it for the Lord. The Lord is in my heart. Jara Marana Ashritya. See, Bhagavad Gita says that one who strives for liberation from old age, death, they take shelter in me. So my grandmother always quoted that. Dress for Krishna. Do everything for Krishna. We're not negators. We're not like Mayavadis. We're not impersonalists. We take shelter in Him. We do everything as a worship, just like we decorate flowers, we decorate our body with jewelry and healthy substances, good things, things that nourish our body, not things that make us look artificial. So our legacy is not again in our looks. It's made with real people, truths that we have lived by. It's in wisdom that is handed down to us through our ancestors, through our Guru Parampara. So when people are going to talk about you when you're gone, will they discuss about your beauty treatments? Or will they say, she taught me faith, she showed me grace, he lived with integrity? The choice is ours. What am I going to choose? So let's choose the legacy that matters. Let's think of people that really matter, like our gurus, not Bollywood. Because when all else fades, that's what remains, that faith, that connection, that spirituality. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any tips or any lessons that you learned from these experiences, share below. Stay blessed, healthy, and truly beautiful. Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna.